Hello, everybody. Welcome to CineMayo's movie chat, which I noticed I called Mayo's movie chat. That was a mistake. CineMayo's movie chat, which we do every week. And glad to see a whole bunch of people are here. We started a little early. I see people. I see the number of people watching are here, but not the ones in the comments yet. Like Douglas, for example. Hi, Douglas. And let me introduce the guys here. If you don't know by now, Tim Allen and Tom Hanyati. All right. So there we go. What's up, Richard? And I just did a show yesterday, a live show that's now a video if you want to watch. Aaron Badgley and we discussed the 50th anniversary of Jaws. And we talked about Jaws, but we wound up going into all kinds of other things. We talked about
Yes, you did.
Too.
Yeah.
And, I was a little disappointed that we did that, but it was fun. It was fun. It was fine. And now it makes me want to do other movie discussions with him, except for just that. All right. So
I watched I got to watch the first 30 minutes of that, and I enjoyed your guys' chat very much.
30 minutes was good.
Well, I mean, I was working all day, so I mean,
no excuses. No excuses. You got to get fired.
Hey, listen here, pal. I'll watch your videos when I feel like it. Okay?
I expect you to give up your job.
Very good.
Hello, yes. 50 Thunder, a Fantastic 3, and I'm hoping that's one of the things we're going to hear about. But fantastic, but we'll wait and see. Nope. No, huh? Good. Hello, Our Tourist. Did I say that right? Every time, our tour. Is there such a thing as a favorite Adam Sandler film?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Well, Punch Drunk Love.
Exactly. Punch Drunk Love. Paul Thomas Anderson. It is by far his best movie. And if you don't agree, too bad.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yes, if you don't agree, you are wrong.
I don't know why I'm feeling like I must have seen something that I like his, but I can't think of anything offhand. I get him mixed up with Ben Stiller for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's funny. I mean, he can be funny, Adam Sandler. I think.
Oh, so I mean, besides them both being Jewish,
Yeah. And let's see now. All right. Well, we're waiting for other commenters. We'll get started on some things we got today, this week. Things we got. I got a couple of things that arrived kind of like at the end of the show, I think, last time. One of them is, I think I only got two things. I don't know. One of them is The Man with Two Brains, Steve Martin, Warner Archive Collection. This is an upgrade. I had a DVD with the whole snapper case for many years, since the 1997 or 8, whatever it was. And I saw this in the movies, and I liked it a lot. And I like Steve Martin, even though I've never seen The Jerk. And I know you guys have seen The Jerk and like The Jerk, but I will get around.
You cannot say you like Steve Martin until you've seen The Jerk.
I will certainly. Yeah. Dr. Huffer. He plays Dr. Huffer.
Okay.
And Kathleen Turner looked the best she ever did in here. I don't want to hear about Body Heat. He's the best ever in here.
Oh, no. Body Heat.
He does things in Body Heat I like. But the other one is, let me tell you something there, read it. That was the dirtiest picture I ever seen. You're telling me there's really people like that there? Hi, how you doing? Wham, bam, into the sack.
Yes.
I think there was a picture about the priesthood, Archie. Cardinal knowledge. Oh, eat it. Carnal knowledge, eat it.
Okay. Very good, Joe. Very good.
So I got it. Still sealed, of course. But this is one I've been itching to watch. And maybe Anthony and I will watch this. I don't know. Anthony and I got a whole list of things we want to watch. So I said to Anthony when he came over, look what I got. And he said, I never heard of this. And he starts looking at it. And I say, Margaret's in it. He goes, oh, was she topless in it? I said, I couldn't remember. I don't think so. But wait a minute. He's nodding. I've seen this before, by the way. And I guess I forgot. Wait a minute. I can't get the picture back. Keep doing that head thing till I get out of here. Oh shit!
Nice butt shot too. So
how can I forget that? For God's sake, it shows you how long it's been.
Well, I mean that's why you want the carnal knowledge.
That's one of the reasons. So those are the two. I think the only thing that I got. Oh, come on with this, will you? Richard, I tolerate you, buddy. I tolerate you. This is a joke from the Danny streams because he always shows that movie that was filmed by his house or whatever the hell it was, The Night Listener. Did anybody see The Night Listener?
No. The great thing about carnal knowledge is after watching again, you think it's Jack Nicholson that's really the asshole. Jack Nicholas, sorry, or whatever, Jack Nicholson. But it's really Art. It's really Art Garfunkel.
Wait a minute. Wait, you talk about Jack Nicholas and Art Carney. Where we
going?
Yeah, I know.
I can't get it right here. I can't get it right. It's really Art. That's the asshole.
I don't remember it like that at all, honestly.
Because here's Art. He gets Candice Bergen, okay, by making her think that he's the sensitive and he can't live without her or whatever, and he's weak, and he makes her feel sorry for him. But all along, when you watch the movie, it's like he's the one that's playing the field. He's the one that's got multiple, girlfriends all along while he's married to her. Yeah, Jack is, an asshole in the film, but I think it's really Art that's, kind of more of the bastard than anything in the movie.
I'll keep a lookout for that when I see it, which isn't going to be too long because this is one that I got that I want to see pretty quick. So I'll take another look at that and see because I just remember the end bits when they're watching the movies and they're taking a walk.
Right.
Mark Garfunkel's supposed to be in his 40s or something, and he's trying to act older. Oh God! But anyway, yeah, it's okay. Maureen Starkey, rest in peace. Happy birthday. That doesn't fit here much at all. But along those lines, let's say goodbye to Lonnie Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else? Because I don't usually remember to mention people.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
I was never a big fan, but nevertheless,
Well, she's the reason why. She and her and Dr. Johnny Fever are really the only two reasons to watch that show.
No, I disagree. Jan Smithers. I'm sorry. I
knew you were. Why did I know you were going to say that?
I thought you were going to say it was that little guy, that old guy with the glasses. Lester was that.
No, I watched it. I love Jan Smithers.
As a Marianne fan instead of Ginger, I had to kind of have a feeling you were going to say that.
Everybody's a Marianne fan. I'm a Ginger guy.
I'm a Ginger guy all the way. I'm a Ginger guy.
Tom, you may be the only one that I've ever heard say that.
Yeah.
Now,
no offense to Lonnie Anderson, but if you dress them in identical swimsuits and put them next to each other, there'd be some competition going on. Jan Smithers, they tried to hide what she looked like, but she looked a lot like Lonnie Anderson.
Yeah,
I'll just put it that way. Jan Smithers was kind of gorgeous.
Yeah. I was looking at pictures of her the other night when I found out last night when I found out she died. I mean, she had some great swim. There's that really famous swimsuit one that she did. That's, I mean, I wouldn't say it's as famous as the Farrah one, but I mean, it's pretty smoking.
No, but I said on Livestream the other night, around 1978, 79, a lot of kids pulled their Farrah Fawcett posters off the wall and hung Lonnie Anderson.
Lonnie Anderson.
Oh, really? Is that a fact? We'll see about that. Hold on a minute.
Well,
I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying a lot of people did.
Well, she's married. She married. What's his name? Why am I forgetting his name now? She married. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, but it's not on your wall.
She married. We need to hang it up for the movie shows only.
She marries Burt Reynolds. She's in a movie with Burt Reynolds while at the height of her fame, being in WKRP Cincinnati and Stoker Ace. But sadly it didn't. She didn't appear in the reboot of WKRP in Cincinnati, did she?
I think she might have guested on it a couple times, but she wasn't a regular. No, but I think she did guest on it a couple times.
For the record, I'm a Jacqueline Smith fan. She's my angel, but I like Farrah too, But this has been up for a while now, so I want to mention it that I have not seen Bowfinger. Also, that's another one of the movies of Steve Martin that I did not see.
I had no interest in seeing that movie whatsoever.
No, I didn't either. None. So I never.
Thank you, 50 Thunderer. Much appreciated. I'm glad you enjoyed that chat with Aaron. We're going to do more of those, and just have to be he and I. Anybody out there that is interested in horror movies or loosely like Jaws. He called Jaws a horror movie. I didn't really have a chance to tell him. I think it starts out as a horror like film, and it turns into an adventure, more of an adventure film. But I mean, I don't mind loosely. It's a loose title, Monster Mash, Mayo's Monster Mash. We talk about anything. Hey. But anyway, anybody could be on there if they know their stuff, and we can talk. So get in touch with me
That's nice of you, 50 Thunder. 5 pounds, isn't that?
I don't know what that comes out to.
It comes out to what, 50 cents in American?
No.
I'm just teasing.
Pounds and dollars are very close to right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing.
Maybe $5.50 or something. They're close. Right
no,
now.
It's less. No, it's under. I think.
I appreciate
now. I don't know.
Anybody that helps out, I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's the thought, and I love it. Hobie,
yes. And 50 Thunder, I was just having a laugh. That's all.
Yeah, you're having a laugh.
Nice of you.
All right, now let's have some more laughs. Show me, Tom, what you've picked up this week.
Okay, well, one will be a laugh and one will be, pretty serious. As we were talking about, last week when I showed Cleopatra, I went the next step further, and I got the Sign of the Cross, which,
good.
Your favorite genre, Kino Lorber, put that out.
Lorber.
Yeah, this is 1932, the pre-code film. As we know, it's famous for the Claudette Colbert bath scene, and and other things in there. But I have not seen this. I have seen the bath scene, obviously. In Claudette Colbert's many different bios or biofilms or whatever that they show that in. But I'm really looking forward to watching this. 126 minutes. There's 2 commentary tracks on this, so I'm looking forward to check. Don't get too excited now, Tim.
No. I like that film better than Cleopatra, though.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Great cast. You got Frederick March in there. You got Charles Lawton and Colbert in there. So I'm looking forward to checking.
Well, a long time since I saw it, but I do have the notes on it, and in the old Mayo notes thing. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is pushing the envelope for those days.
Yes. Cecil B. DeMille as well. Who did Cleopatra and many greats after this as well. So. Next, I had just realized that this was coming out like 2 weeks ago, and I missed it. And I was really kind of upset about it because I would have pre-ordered it, weeks and weeks ago. But and I kind of hinted at this last week when I said that I'm probably getting one of my least favorite De Niro movies of all time on Blu-ray, and
Raging Bull.
It's called We're No Angels.
I remember that.
1989 with Sean Penn, directed by Neil Jordan. From Mona Lisa and the Crying Game fame. And Demi Moore's in here. Great cast. Bruno Kirby, Demi Moore, Wallace Shawn, great supporting cast in this movie, but not one that I really cared for first time I saw it. The last 2 nights I was, I've been watching this and, listening to the commentary and rewatching it a couple times. And it's still not that great of a movie, but it's nowhere as bad as I thought it was. However, I never really cared for the original either, with Peter Ustinov and what's the other guy's name? If you guys remember the original.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, the guy from African Queen and
Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart. Yeah, Humphrey Bogart. So I wasn't really a big fan of the original. And they're really one of those great special features on here. It's really cool. It does a comparison between the original and this one, and then talks about the differences between the two, because there are a lot of differences. I mean, really, the only thing that these two have in common is that the three prisoners escape jail. Okay, and then I won't give up any more because I don't want to ruin the film if anybody wants to see this. So there's that. You know, Sean Penn kind of plays a dimwit. You know, De Niro's kind of the smarter. Good. I'm glad you know. I was kidding, Thunder. Okay, so, but again, this is like one of maybe 10 De Niro films that haven't gone to Blu-ray yet that I've been hoping for an upgrade. So the list of De Niro films that haven't been upgraded to Blu-ray is dwindling. So I'm glad this finally has seen the light of day on Blu-ray. But again, not the best one, but again, glad to have this in the collection. So there you go.
All righty. About Schindler's List, and I've seen Schindler's List, but I have, again, that's one of them where I have notes from the past, and I have to do a video one day revisiting what I thought of it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's not a movie that you watch, regularly.
No. I saw it twice when it came out in the theater. One time had an intermission, one didn't. And it's just amazing. And I own it, and I've never watched it again. It's one of those films, I mean, maybe someday I will, but it's just so rough. A great film.
I love An Officer and a Gentleman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a movie I saw in the movie theaters, and it wasn't my kind of movie, you would think. And I was like 20 years old when it came out, and I thought, this is so good. And I love Louis Gossett Jr. in it. And I said, this guy should get an award for this, and he did. I always thought Deborah Winger was good looking in her heyday.
Great scene with Deborah Winger and Richard Gere in there. I won't say what scene it is, but it's
I want my girlfriend's never seen the movie. Maybe she's seen bits and pieces of it. And I keep saying, you got to see this. She goes, well, I don't know. She was like, no, she was like, I heard they hated each other, Richard Gere and Deborah Winger, or she hated him or something. And I'm like, well, what does that got to do with it? You watch the I Love Lucy, and meanwhile, Vivian Vance and William Frawley couldn't stand each other. So what difference does it make? I don't know.
He's got a great supporting role in Looking for Mr. Goodbar with Diane Keaton, and the Days of Heaven. He was really good in.
I'm trying to think of any Richard Gere movies that I remember that stood out. I mean, I saw Pretty Woman in the theater, but it doesn't stand out to me, really.
I'm not a big Richard Gere fan. The only thing I can remember seeing him in where I liked him at all was he was one of the Bob Dylans, and I'm Not Here.
Yeah,
he was the last one, I think.
And you got the American
He was
Gigolo
fine.
as
He was
well.
fine in that,
Yeah.
I forgot about this, but I think we're going to get to this later. I have a feeling, so I'm curious to get to that. So let's move along. But before I do, Tim, why don't you share with us what you saw? And I just, before you do, I saw Vinegar Syndrome is coming out with something I want to pick up. When I was watching the Something Weird videos back in the day, I remember one of them that was very interesting to me was, I think it's called the Big Fat Pussycat or something. Confession. No,
I heard that.
Confessions of a Psycho Cat.
Yeah, Confessions of a Psycho Cat. Yeah,
and it's coming out double feature.
Yeah, 1 second though. This film is affiliated with Vinegar Syndrome, and they also, if you go to the Vinegar Syndrome website, they also have a little movie with Yoko Ono. You might think of the movie I'm talking about there.
Yeah,
Joe?
The Bed, Satan's Bed.
Satan's Bed. I have it on Something Weird.
We talked about it here.
Right. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome has. If you go to their website, you'll find it there if you guys are interested in that. Yeah.
So I just, whenever I think of Tim, I think of Something Weird, and I might, if I go back there and search, I might have saved that one because I remember something about that. I think what I liked about Confessions of a Psycho Cat was it was actual footage of them in Greenwich Village. hanging around in Manhattan.
Yeah,
in the
no,
60s.
that's actually one of the few actually really good movies that they put out. I mean,
Yeah, I remember liking it. Well, anyway, Tim.
That's
okay,
great about it.
sorry.
Okay, I only picked up 2 things. I'll talk about. I watched one, but I'll talk about it now because I don't have a lot to say about it, and then I'll talk about the other movies later. But I don't know if either of you guys have ever heard of it. This is television. Long Way Round with Ewan McGregor and his buddy Charlie. This was a BBC series, and what these guys did is they went all the way around the world on motorcycles.
Yes, I did hear about that. Yeah,
they went all the way around. And then they did another one a year later called Long Way Down, and they went this way. They only went halfway this time. They didn't go back. They only went, This is great. It's a 3-disc set, I think, but this is a Japanese copy. I haven't even tried it to see if it works. It should work because they use the same as we do. But everything is in Japanese, and I just want to show the packaging because it's very odd. It comes like this, and then the discs came inside this thing in these 2 envelopes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is kind of weird.
I took them out and I put them in these kind of envelopes just because it makes it much easier. And one disc, there is a thing in the case. So the first disc is there. And then there's this thing, which does nothing. It's too small to fit envelopes or a disc. And it's just kind of there, and it makes everything fat. It's a really odd case. But I think it's how it probably originally came. But I have seen this, but I haven't watched this version yet. And this has lots of extra features, which I won't have ever seen. But this is really good. And interestingly, not in this one, but in the second one, I think, they go to the cave place where Ewan McGregor filmed Star Wars. And they're hanging. It's a tourist attraction now. There's hundreds of people there, and he's there with Charlie looking around. He's telling Charlie, we filmed this here, we filmed it there. Not one person recognized him, which he just found hysterical. He was so happy. He's like, not one person recognized. There's the star of the movie. They're all there to see the set. And that one person came up to him and said, excuse me. Which was kind of bizarre. Anyway, and I picked this up. These were both $1, by the way. I picked Gregory Peck is movie.
I used to have that. Yeah, I used to have that.
I thought I would hate this, to be honest, because I'm not a huge Gregory Peck fan. I think he's a little reserved, a little strict, a little emotionless. I actually liked him in this, and I understood why his crew would follow him and stuff. He's very interesting. He plays it very, very weird.
You got a quick cameo from Orson Welles in there.
Yeah, Orson Welles is in here, and so good movie. I recommend it, but it's not what I would have thought it was, but it's good. I enjoy, and I enjoyed the way it was filmed too.
Are these movies you picked up or watched? Both.
This I'm just talking about a little bit. This I picked up and watched, and then I'm gonna stop after this. But I don't have a lot to say about it. But one of the interesting things is the way they filmed it. It's set, in Massachusetts in the mid 1800s or whatever, and everything is bleak, and it's filmed in browns, and it's almost a sepia tone film. And then when they get on the scene, it turns very colorful, and it's just a very interesting way to shoot it. Good. It's a good film, but I don't have
a nice little special effect towards the end of the movie when he's kind of like pinned to the whale. You know what I mean? At the end of the film. And you have to see it, but it's a nice little special effect at the end of the film.
No, it was. I enjoyed the film more than I thought I would.
Yeah,
I remember.
I like that one.
I remember seeing the earlier one. I think Charles Lawton was in the earlier one. It was Moby Dick, wasn't it, or was it something else?
It might be Mutiny on the Bounty. You're thinking
Mutiny on the Bounty. I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, because I didn't love that. I didn't love Mutiny on the Bounty. didn't love it. Something he was over the top or something too much for me. All right. Anyway, Schindler's List is an incredible movie. You have to be in the right mindset to watch it. Interesting to think Liam Neeson has gone from Schindler to Naked Guns. He's so great.
Yeah.
Let's see. So there we are with that. All right, I'm going to just talk about what I've watched. The first thing I want to do is, we could talk about TV shows too. And Tim was talking about how discs were shown, housed or whatnot in that package. Of course, my girlfriend and I going through the Brady Bunch, and this is season 4. But the reason I'm holding this up is, I was looking. I got these all for like $5, 5 seasons, $5 a piece, sealed. These were never open. I always love the covers because they have that, the head turn and stuff. That's pretty freaking cool. But anyway, I remembered as I was looking at the discs, they were sealed, never opened. Some of the discs had marks on them, and there's residue on it, and that was because I had remembered reading that there was a problem with certain Paramount, I think, plastic cases. And it happened with the I Love Lucy sets, that there's oils or something on there that kind of get onto the discs over the time. So even though these had never been opened, a lot of them were discs were messed up, and I had to try to clean them. And what I did was, when you take them out, they come in, I think, how many discs are there altogether? There's 4 discs altogether in each.
How many episodes per season, Joe? Do you know about
per season?
Roughly.
Oh, I don't know. Does it say on here per season? 23.
Okay.
Something like that. Now, but what I did was I threw away those plastic cases. And what I did, I don't usually do things like this. I like to keep the original packaging intact. But in special cases, I've done things like this is the paper sleeve that was in the plastic. I threw the plastic out and just kept the paper sleeve, with the episodes listed, and when I open it up, I got them in here. So that's how I'm keeping them. I'm not going to use those. So that was interesting. So yeah, season 4, and season 5, I dread Cousin Oliver, who comes in. It's like jumping the shark when Oliver gets there. So he's in season 5. But I'm having a great time.
Did Oliver take the place of anybody, or did they just add him to the cast?
No, he was added.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I know I go on about this all the time, but of course, we're reliving childhood memories. We're remembering these with the good feelings we had. But it's fun. They're funny, and there's also life lessons. And always a lecture from the dad about how to do this or that. There's one episode, for example, where Bobby Brady, the kid, has an idol. His idol and hero is now Jesse James. And Jesse James, they try to get him off Jesse James because all he did was shoot people in the back. So they're trying to teach him that they're not the best role model and that kind of thing. And it's like, there's good lessons in these. Anyway, that's that. Now, as far as watching movies, the only movie I really watch is something I've seen many times because my friend Anthony comes over and he wants to see certain movies that he hasn't seen. And we watched Carlito's Way again. It's his first time seeing it. I love that movie.
What? First time?
His first time.
What's wrong with that guy?
I just love that movie. Brian De Palma most of the time. I love the way he shoots the movie. I love Pacino. Can I say this is my favorite Al Pacino movie? I don't know.
Sure. I love the pool trick. I love the pool trick that he does in the movie. It's great.
Yes, I love it. I love the music because it's a retro movie. It takes place
if you can't get in, you don't get in.
I love it. Penelope Ann Miller. How she in that scene? God, I would break through that.
She worked with De Niro first, though. She worked with De Niro first in Awakenings.
Well, that was just the warm up, for the like McCartney said. The Hugh McCracken.
Yeah.
Whatever. But no, I love everything about it. And Sean Penn. Oh God. Sean Penn,
one of his best roles. He disappears into that role.
Yeah, it's so different from what we used to him being. I like his role in there, slimy, sleazy lawyer. It's so good. And I say Penelope M. Miller is beautiful, and Pacino is really great working with De Palma again. Like after seeing Scarface, a lot of the people from Scarface are in this again, and you got John. I never said his name. Leguizamo.
Leguizamo. You got Viggo Mortensen. Great supporting cast as well.
Yeah, I love the movie. I could watch this many times. I never get tired of it. And the tension at the end with the train scene is so well choreographed and shot with the train when they're trying to chase Pacino. The bad guys are trying to get a hold of him.
Rehabilitated and soon to be relocated.
Well, I could do without that scene. That's probably my least favorite scene.
I love it.
There's something about that in there. I don't know what it is about that scene. At the beginning, the very first scene of the movie.
Yes.
But so I love it. Now, here's a surprise, okay? I was going around TCM one night, and a movie that I never saw, but I know my mother took me to see this movie when I was a child. And it is a classic. It is The Sound of Music. Now, I've never seen it, but I know, the songs and all that. So I'm also interested because, Angela Cartwright, who was in Lost in Space and played Penny Robinson, is in there. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to do this. So I put it on, and I watched about close to an hour. It's almost, I think it's almost 3 hours, just less, I think. Just under 3. Anyway, but then something happened and I got sidetracked. So I had it on in the background, but was not paying attention. So technically I didn't watch the whole thing, but I like what I saw, and heard, again, Christopher Plummer, I heard that he really hated making the movie. He didn't want to do the movie or something. He didn't like that type of song and dance kind of thing, whatever you want to call it. And then later, of course, he's appreciated it afterwards. Don't know what I could say about it. I have to officially see it. But Robert Wise directed it, did West Side Story. And I have some respect for him. I love the Andromeda Strain that he did. And even going back to the 40s with those Val Lewton horror films that are really, really well done. He directed my favorite one of them called The Body Snatcher with Karloff. So, I mean, I like most of what I see from him, but I did not see him with his film Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I've only seen moments of it. I know how bad it's supposed to be, or dull, or whatever it's supposed to be. So I can't really say I watched it. I didn't really watch it. I figured it was worth mentioning because it's such a classic and all that. All right, let's see now. Let me go up a bit here before we move on here. Okay.
Yeah, that's the live action remake of Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, thank you for reminding me about this, because in the Brady Bunch again, I remember, I think it was 1982. The first time I saw Lawrence Juber, formerly of Wings, at a convention at Beetlefest was in 82. And I remember him introducing his wife, Hope, who was Sherwood Schwartz's daughter. And I remember her saying, "You remember I was in the Brady Bunch? I played Rachel, Greg's girlfriend." And then she goes, "With the frog on my head." And some people remembered that and were clapping and stuff, because there's one in there where Greg goes on a date with Rachel, his girlfriend, trying to impress her. And he drove his brothers to a frog jumping contest, and they had a whole box of frogs in there. And he forgot the frog. When he dropped them off home, they forgot to take the frogs out. So the frogs are in the car while they're having a drive-in movie. They're trying to get romantic, and jumps on the girlfriend's head, and it gets into pizza and all of this. And that episode was in season 4. So, and it's funny because I'm really pissed now that I didn't go. I think it was May 4th this year or something. Some of the kids from the Brady Bunch were appearing, and I was going to get these things signed, and I didn't go. And I really hate that I didn't go. Three of them were there, I think, or four. And I'm like, Anyway.
And plus, Hope was at the Beetle Fest where I was doing my famous dance.
I don't remember. I'm trying to think if I remember you doing a dance at the fest. Oh, yes, I do remember. You're talking about this dance.
She is in that red shirt sitting next to me as I'm doing that dance.
Oh, I'll have to look at it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in more than one episode of the Brady, but at least two that I remember. But she plays, like I said, the girlfriend. But anyway, yeah, the sound of Mayo and the hills are alive with my sound. That's for sure.
I was thinking more of the sound of Mayo.
Oh, I'm not going to watch Patton for a long, long time. Long time, I think. Not that
Hello, Mayo, my old friend.
Carlito's Way.
You again.
Yeah, sleeping in this room is giving me the coughs. It must be the dust. It's a decent film. Scarface is better, though. I don't agree anymore. I'm
right there with you, Joe. I'm right there with you. I don't know anymore. I think Scarface, even though say what you will about them casting Pacino as what was he, Cuban? Cuban. You know what? Carlito's Way might be more entertaining than Scarface.
Yeah, I mean, I saw both of the movies. I saw Scarface in the movies. I thought it was, really powerful and incredible, entertaining. But over the years, I just kind of got into. I'm trying to think what the best way to put it is. It's kind of got a little bit like parody in a way. It's getting kind of like it's in culture now. It's kind of a little silly in a way at times, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy both of them. But I definitely like Carlito's Way as a movie a lot more than the story and all that. All right, so we're caught up now. So that was me. Now we're gonna go to Tim. I want to save the Naked Gun for later. Let's do Tim as far as things that you've seen.
Okay. Well, my take on the first movie that I watched, well, second actually, because I already watched Moby Dick, but is controversial because I prefer this over the remake, and I'm probably about the only one in the world. But I decided I wanted to rewatch this. So I rewatched The Thing, the original Thing from Another Planet. And I don't know why people diss this movie. I think this movie is great.
Good thing you caught me on that now, because I would have told you a year or two ago, I would have said it sucks. I'll explain that as we go along. Okay.
But yeah, no, I think this is great. I love, there's a lot of subtleties in here I never noticed before. Like the guy is basically a walking vegetable, and I find that's why they can't kill him. And I never got that before for some reason, and that's kind of interesting. I think, and it's James Arness, which I think is cool in the suit. I don't have a lot to say about it, but I like the story. I like the love interest. I like the reporter. I like most of the characters I like, and that's always a good sign, when you actually like most horror films. You don't even notice the characters; they're just there. But these people are actually characters, and you like them, and the people.
That's one of the first 50s, if not the first, one of the first 50s science fiction movies, really, I think, along with The Day the Earth Stood Still. But the thing is, let me tell you my take on that, because I always cover myself, because I always am getting on people. Sorry, younger people. A lot of times younger people who won't watch old movies. And they say, oh, it's boring, it's talky. And I say, you got to know the characters. You got to get into the reasons why they're doing what they're doing, and you got to know them. Yeah. But having said that, when I didn't catch, for some reason, I didn't watch The Thing from Another World when I was younger. I caught it later, after I saw the Carpenter Thing, which I love. I think the Carpenter Thing is great. Then I went back to I said, this thing, I felt like I was a newbie. I was like, this is old, it's boring, there's too much talking. I like some talking, but too much talking. And now I recently revisited it, the original, in the right, aspect of mind, and I enjoyed it. I appreciated it now. So I agree with you on that. I appreciate it, but for a long while, I didn't. I always thought, oh, some bald guy walking around as a man, that's supposed to be the creature. Come on, Curly from the Three Stooges. But I like it now.
I liked it a lot. I didn't think I'd like. I knew I liked it, but I didn't know I liked it that much. And I watched. I've heard so much about this movie over the years, and I'd never seen it. So I watched Dario Argento's The Whip in the Body.
Oh, cool! Yeah. I never saw it, but
so
I'm curious.
This is not what I expected at all. You can never go into movies with expectations. This movie stopped me from watching 2 other movies. Because I watched it, I thought it was it's basically a gothic romance is what this is, way more than a horror movie or anything. This is a gothic.
Well, the cover suggests that,
Yeah, and it is. The music is just over the top gothic romance music. They even give it to you in the special features. I'm like, why do I want that? But anyway,
so they play the Cure. So they play the Cure then in the soundtrack, right?
No.
Okay.
It's over the top romantic. But anyway, so I watched this movie, and it's the first time at least the first time I watched it, I had no idea, about who was doing this. There's murders, and and I had no idea, and it makes most of it makes sense once they let you in on it, and then. Okay, so I watched it once, and I was going to watch a couple other movies, but it had a commentary track. So I'm like, okay, I watched. There goes another day. Okay, it was a good commentary track. In the middle of the commentary track, the guy says the American version of this, which is what I watched, the American dub, is a very different dub. So they changed some of the music. They changed a lot of the cues,
dialogue,
like the horror cues and stuff like that. And it's over the top, and he's like the original Italian version is much better. So then I watched it again in Italian.
Is there a reason why she's so pale on the cover of the movie?
No,
don't judge a movie by its cover.
Right. No, there's not. And Christopher Lee, I didn't even recognize Christopher Lee. To me, he's almost unrecognized. I'm not used to seeing him this young and with dark black hair, and he just, but he's really good in it. But while he's the star, he's only in about half the movie, and you have to watch the movie to see why. But anyway, really good. I watched it 3 times, so.
I'm glad
good movie, but not what I expected. Not horrific at all. I always thought that this would be bloody and awful, and that's why I didn't watch it for years, because I'm not into. And it's not at all. Although this is restored. It was heavily censored for a long time because there's a lot of it's called The Whip in the Body. So there's a lot of whipping in it, which was all cut out at one point, but it's put back now.
Tim, doesn't that prove you never know, right?
Yeah, you never know. And then I do want to talk a minute about this, because this threw me for a loop. I loved this movie. I've had this movie for a bunch of years. It's sitting around. I don't know if this movie is affiliated with Disney or not, but maybe not. But they do go to Disney.
Who put it out?
Universal.
Okay, no, so then it's not affiliated with Disney.
Okay, but this is Tony Curtis, 40 Pounds of Trouble. It also stars Suzanne Pleshette, who I've been in love with since the Bob Newhart show. I mean, and this is I usually don't talk about plots, but I want to go through the plot because this is interesting, because this is rated G. It's a family movie, but it's not the kind of family movie that they've made for a long time, because Tony Curtis runs a casino in Vegas. He's got several girlfriends, and you can tell by the subtext that he's sleeping with all these women, and he's got an ex-wife in California, and he loves to sneak over the border and get chased back by all these people trying to serve him papers because he won't give her alimony or anything like that. And this is one of the ways he gets his kicks, is he's got these people chasing him over the border, and they can't serve him in Nevada. Once he's in Nevada, he's home free. So he's interesting. He's not a nice guy. You like him, but he's not a nice guy, you know. And he runs this casino, and Phil Silvers plays the casino owner, who you're pretty sure is a mob boss. And so it's not this family friendly movie, you know. And there's this guy that wants to have a poker game. He's got 11 grand, but he wants Tony Curtis in it because he runs the casino. And for 11 grand, Tony Curtis is like, yeah, I'll play poker with this guy. So they sit down to a foursome at poker, and Tony Curtis takes everything he has and gives the guy like $100 for bus fare to get back where he's going. And he thinks that's that. And the next day he goes down to the main desk at the hotel, and his main guy tells him that there's this little girl over there sitting on the couch, and it's the guy's daughter that he beat at poker, and he's abandoned her to go get more money and come back and try to win his money back. And so now he's stuck with the daughter. And the thing I like about the movie is this little girl is not precocious. Today she'd be precocious. She'd be doing funny things. She's doing none of that. She's a complete slob, and she's awful to start out, but she's not a bad person. And Tony Curtis teaches her things that her father should have taught her a long time ago and never did. And she's just such a nice little kid that it just turns into such a good movie. And of course, him and Suzanne Pleshette kind of
what year?
Like, and they hate each other at first, and they like each other, and you can guess the end of the movie by the middle of it, but you're hoping for it. It's just it's the kind of movie they don't make anymore.
What year is that, Tim? If you
63.
63. Okay.
Good year.
So he's still in his heyday.
He's still in his heyday. She's wonderful. The little girl's wonderful, and they just. And I'm not putting down modern movies, but they don't make movies like this anymore, where there's not over the top stuff going on. Like, he tells a little girl to take a bath. He's like, "You're old enough to take a bath before you go to bed, aren't you, yourself?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Be neat. I love my bathroom. Don't make a mess in there." And she comes out in just her towel, which is right there. And he's like, don't do that. She's like, "I forgot my nightgown." He's like, "Well, don't do that again. Bring your nightgown in when he's teaching her stuff." And he goes and looks at the bathroom, and it looks like a war zone in there. And he's like, "Okay, before you go to bed, we're going to clean this up." And he gets in trouble. The cops come because they've heard there's a kid running around, and it's illegal to have a kid in the casino, and all of this stuff happened. And I love this. It's a little bit like that Elvis movie, the State Fair movie. What's it called, Joe?
It happened at the World's Fair.
Yeah, it happened at the World's Fair. But this is that movie done right, as opposed to just an Elvis quickie movie.
Well, I like the Elvis movie, so I'll have to see this.
Well, it's great. It's good. It's good, but this blows it out of the water. Done with this now. Anyway, great movie.
I'm pulling a plug on it. Kimba says, "Greetings. I just watched that movie a few weeks ago."
Oh, good for you. Good for you, Kimba. It's a great
little movie.
No, I really liked it.
It's funny because a couple weeks ago, Jamie Lee Curtis was talking about how she wants to kind of like exit films and kind of not get in that situation like her mom and dad did, where they were just, has-beens by the time, Jamie Lee Curtis, was just getting into films right in the late 70s.
Jamie Lee.
Well, I know that now, but the difference is that her parents were kind of like has-beens by the time that she was breaking into films. So she tried, she's talking about her retirement in a ways that she doesn't become how her parents, became, where they're, has-beens, and they're just like, finding little roles here and there and scraping by, so she's trying to avoid that situation.
Hi, David, and thank you very much again. Thank you.
Well,
very nice.
I just want to say on that note, Tom, I hope that her latest film isn't her last film, because
Freakier
Friday 2 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the third one, but
okay.
But that being said, she can retire now because what 3 years ago she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah,
so,
no,
which I don't think
she was great in that.
Which I don't think any of her. I don't think her.
I was going to say, what was her last good movie, and then you reminded me.
Yeah,
of that.
right.
Yeah,
right.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah. And she was really good in The Last Showgirl with last year with Pam Anderson, and it was really good.
Death at a Funeral. Jane
Peter
Asher.
Dinklage. Yeah, I think the little guy from Game of Thrones. Yeah.
I think it's not when you retire. It's if you're settling for crappy roles, then you should retire. But if you're still getting good roles and you're still able to do them, then go ahead.
Right, exactly. If you're still getting high profile roles or even really good independent films, for that matter, it all really matters on the work that you're getting, what you're offered,
True, I go with that. All right, so that's it, Tim.
That's it. That's 4 films. All I watched.
That was a good amount. Okay, so Tom, you're up.
Oh boy. Okay, so last Thursday I went to go see the new Naked Gun film. Now, unfortunately, the theater that I saw it in was Theater 13. They've got some speaker issues. So everything else is great except for the dialogue, which is kind of muted. So the second time I saw Superman was in that theater too, and still. So I'm going to call up there and see next time I go into that theater to make sure that those speakers are fixed at the AMC by me. But okay. The first 2/3 of the film of Naked Gun, I laughed my ass off. I thought it was one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. The ending, not so much, but it's funny. The chemistry between Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson I thought to be really good. And it was so good that they're a couple now. So there's that, but it's the same humor that you get from Airplane, the Naked Gun films. There's a scene where Liam Neeson is meeting Pamela Anderson for the first time, and he goes, "Take a chair," and she goes, "Oh, I don't need it. I have several already." It's just that kind of humor, And then by the time their meeting is over, she goes, "Never mind. I think I'll take this chair anyways," or something, And there's scenes though. The scene which they showed in the commercials already, so I'm not spoiling anything. But Liam Neeson's looking at his dad, Liam Neeson on the wall, and then the next guy sees his dad on the wall, and then there's O.J. Simpson on the wall, and his son is just looks back at the camera breaking the fourth wall, and he just goes, shakes his head, and that's the only time you see the guy in the movie. So that was kind of funny. There's a rapper in there named what's his name? Busta Rhymes. Okay, so he's at the scene of the crime, which is the scene you see in the movie, which he's a little girl, and then he goes into the bank and he breaks up the bank robbery already. So they catch Busta Rhymes, and then he's in the in the room with them trying to get evidence or whatever, get information from him, and Busta Rhymes is a rapper, so he's looking at his and he calls it, "Hey, what a rap sheet that is," So it was just I thought that was kind of funny too, So there's a lot of I'm not going to, but I'm just trying to give a few of the one-liners that are in there, just trying to prove that it's the same kind of comedy that
nothing's going to be new anymore.
Right. There's one really kind of crazy funny montage where him and Pamela Anderson, they find themselves in the situation where they go on vacation for like 2 weeks or whatever, and which is really funny. They build a snowman, and then they're getting into magic, and then snowman comes to life, and it's just a whole like 10-minute scene that's really funny. But I found there's times where I found myself laughing for about 10 minutes straight at stuff.
Never laugh aloud.
For me,
very rare.
Yeah. but this is for me. I'm not saying that Joe would or Tim would react.
Then again, I laughed. I don't actually think about it. I did laugh. The first Naked Gun from '88. I did laugh in the movie. Like I actually laughed. So I did. It happens.
It does, and then some of the jokes they for me they landed very well, and I was hoping they would, because I was really hoping for a comedy to do that, because comedies are a dying genre, unfortunately. So for me, it worked very well. Unfortunately, the last third of the film, the ending, just it kind of petered out by the time it ended. It ended, unfortunately. But again, the best things about this movie were the chemistry between Liam and Pamela Anderson was fantastic, and and the one-liners. Again, like I said, the first 2/3 of the film was just nonstop, really good, good landing jokes. So I would, and it's only 85 minutes long. So there's great jokes. There's a good setup with Weird Al Yankovic, and you got to stay until the end of the credits to get more of that, which was good. So if you go see it, make sure you wait until the end of the credits for one last scene too. That really worked.
My old pal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good recommendation. Do you see anything else?
No, that was it. Unfortunately, besides watching We're No Angels.
Okay, I don't know about scraping by. Tony Curtis's net worth when he died was $60 million.
Well, he saved his money. But I mean, what role with Tony Curtis do you remember after, say, 1980?
All right. Jamie Lee Curtis, still she's amazing, still beautiful, still funny, still cool.
Yeah. She's married to Christopher Guest, who we'll see next month in the Spinal Tap sequel.
Yes, we had briefly mentioned Lonnie Anderson earlier on. Thank you. Yep. I saw Happy Gilmore too. This movie has its moments in humor.
Have no interest whatsoever, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're caught up. There's the show. So is there we got anything else to talk about, or comments, or anything else to bring up? I'm just gonna turn it over to everybody else. Comedies. Hello, Eric. Comedies are probably the hardest kind of films to make in terms of being successful in its purposes with the audience.
Yeah, but they're also they can be with the horror genre very inexpensive to make as well.
I don't know what the problem is. I didn't know. When you said that they're like there's a shortage of comedies or whatever, a dying thing. I didn't really notice that.
Well, they are. Part of it is I don't want to get political. Part of it is the political climate where we live in. It's hard to make fun of things these days.
Yeah, that could be true.
People are too
sensitive. So do I.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I got to rewatch one. I think it's been a long time since I saw Spinal Tap.
I hope it's better than the special they did, Breaking Wind. I hope it's better than that.
Thanks for the Naked Gun review.
Terrible.
Well, I hope you see it, Thunder. Or Thunderer.
Bad News Bears Go to Japan starred Tony Curtis.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he didn't make $60 million for that.
You don't wind up like Bobby De Niro. Don't wind up making like bad movies as you get older.
No, he's still making high-profile films. Just 2 years ago, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, Meet the Fockers too. No, I'm kidding. I'm playing with you. I don't know.
I know you are.
I got you interested in going to see Jaws in the theater. It's the only way, especially if you've never seen it in the theater. It's got to be seen in the theater. Yeah. Now, when you talk about Sweet Charity, what I remember, I got a little memory. This is something to talk about. I used to go in the summer times to a place called Villa. I think it's still out. Villa Roma. It's a resort, and the whole family would go and stay for a week or two. Anyway, and they would have movie night. And back then, movie night consisted of they would just have a projector with 16 millimeter reels on. There was no DVDs or anything, and they would run the movie. And I remember Sweet Charity was one of them, and Shirley MacLaine, I think, is in it. And I was like 6 years old or something at the time, 7, 6, 7, maybe 8. And they were playing this movie. And now I'm thinking, I remember them singing the songs and it, whatever. But now I'm thinking, as I go farther, I remember there was another time there was a film called "There's a Girl in My Soup," and I'm thinking I might be getting the two mixed up. Now that I'm thinking, but one of these summer's vacations at night when they were showing the movie night, slowly but surely, I remember all the parents were telling the kids, "Okay, that's it, go to bed. You leave, you gotta go to bed," because there must have been some racy stuff going on. I thought it was Sweet Charity. It might have been "There's a Girl in My Soup." Would you say anything, Kimber, like that? I just remember. I also remember, since I'm talking about this subject, again, I was going around TCM, bouncing around, and they have a movie that I haven't seen in a long time. I own it back there. Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn, and that's another one that they showed. And I was a kid at the time, like again 7 years old or something, and it was very scary to me. The end. There's a scene in the refrigerator and the knife and all this stuff, and it was really intense for a 7-year-old. But anyway, those are some memories of this. What kind of resort was this? Well, it was just that at night they would have a movie at night as an option if you wanted to see the movie or go to the bar or nightclub, whatever they were doing. And sometimes I remember showing Three Stooges shorts on the projector. All right. So yeah, Goldie Hawn and Peter Sellers, Girl in My Soup. Something was on that was getting too sexy, and it was like all the parents got the clue. All right, that's it, everybody. Good. Go ahead, kids. Go to bed. Robert De Niro, The Alto Night, so boring, dull as dishwater. Where's Tom hiding? Because I want to see what he thinks of this. What's John Wayne's autograph worth these days? Did anybody know? I don't.
No, I have no idea.
Tom, what are you doing? He's taking poop. With 60 million, he didn't have to work.
Good.
But he wanted to work, probably.
Yeah.
I love Nora.
The whole point is that she wanted to remain relevant.
Yeah.
Whereas
and
I don't think her parents.
Film.
Yeah, which I don't think her parents remained relevant there towards the last 20 years of their careers.
Do you want to have fun? I knew you when you walked into the place. I knew you were a man. I remember something like that. Of distinction, it was a sexy thing for a kid, watch. Anyway, what do you think of Stephen King's It? Never seen it.
The miniseries with what's his name as It? Timothy Curry. I mean, Timothy Curry playing It is the only good thing about that It. But if you're talking about the films that came out a few years ago, Part 1 and Part 2, they were fantastic.
Did you see this comment before at all?
It was unfortunately it kind of was a little boring. It was a little disappointing. I will say that.
The Lost Boys is a kind of film that I don't want to watch. I'm a horror fan, but I don't want to see it. It looks like it's just, I don't know, teenage hanging out. I don't know what it is, but I know the girl I think Jamie Gertz is there, and I think she's really, I liked her. She's all right to look at for me. Other than sorry, that's how it is. Sometimes you like the girl. What are you going to do? Yeah, Wait Until Dark. Great film with some humorous elements. It's weird, but that's another example where I say, I just remember as a child seeing that film really like hit me better than it did later on. Years later, when I caught up with it as an adult, it's not a bad movie at all. But it didn't really affect me like it had the power that it did at it being 7 years old or something. You know, there's certain movies like that. You know, great suspense film.
I think I've only seen bits and pieces of that. The Audrey Hepburn one, right, with Alan Arkin. Yeah, I gotta see that.
Oh yeah, she's blind. It's scary.
Yeah. You know. It's on my list. I own it. I need to watch it. I've seen parts. Maybe I've seen the whole thing. I don't remember.
Well, maybe it's one we all have to revisit because I have it on a DVD. And still, maybe we could watch it one time and all of us could talk about it. Shirley MacLaine. She could be Jack Lemmon in early movies. Some of them.
Yeah, Jack Lemmon's in that one too.
Yeah. Billy Wilder. Isn't it Billy Wilder film?
Yeah, I think so.
But there's ones with her that I used to see on TV, like Woman Times 7. I'm trying to think some of these ones with her in maybe the 60s. But she could be really interesting.
Sure.
Cute.
This is what I was talking about right here.
Yeah.
There was a recent quote from Jamie Lee Curtis recently about Hollywood turning backs on her parent as they age. She said she doesn't want to go through that. So that's what I kind of meant when I was talking about there. It's not that, I'm sure both of them, his mom or her mom and dad were both had money put away. But yet they couldn't get any, decent roles probably because they did turn their backs on them.
I don't want to see a vampire or whatever it is movie that has like Breakfast Club. I just don't care about that. Now, I don't know if this is another attempt at a contradiction on me or something like that because I like Fright Night. I like Fright Night. I think it's a good horror movie, and I think it melds the old feelings of old horror movies in with the new one, so it worked well. I don't know if that's what you mean, Silver Phantom, or you just asking in general because. Oh, no, because you asked about the Lost Boys, and now you said, how about Fright Night, which I guess is like, well, you like that. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. I haven't seen the Lost Boys, so for all I know, it could be better than Fright Night. I might even enjoy it better than Fright Night. I'm just admittedly just going by what I sense about it. But Fright Night, the poster and everything, and the advertisements did have a bunch of, like, bored-looking teenagers, like, standing there. They started that too, also with that, and then Scream. The posters where just all the characters are all together, just looking at you. It's like no artwork. We can get into how posters suck too if we want, but these days. So, River's Edge.
Yeah, I agree. There, great supporting performance from Dennis Hopper, but. You got Keanu Reeves. You got what's his name, Glover. Not Denny, but the younger guy who was in Back to the Future.
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover. Thank you. One of his early roles. Yeah.
What's the best Hellraiser film in the Hellraiser franchise? As much as as I'm familiar with a lot of what is called modern like horror films series. That one I've seen 1 and 2. I might have seen 3. I remember 2 didn't make any sense to me in the movie theater. And then I caught 1. I caught 1 after the fact on video, and I think 1 was all right. Of the ones I see, I'm going to say the first one. I didn't see all of them. I think I saw 1, 2, and 3. I remember 2 was insane. I saw it at the theater 2. It's the first one I ever saw. 2. I never saw 1 at first.
Yeah.
So 2, I just seemed over the top. And then I went back to 1. I liked it better.
They always seemed like they would be too gory for me to want to watch.
Yeah. I'm a Clive Barker fan, and he wrote Clive Hellraisers are his, and I love his books, but I never wanted to see Hellraiser.
I don't understand. I know horror's not for everybody, but God, come on, guys, don't be so soft. Jeez. But some horror films are more more gruesome than others. But I remember one thing. The only thing I remember about two is I think it was talking about gruesome. It still stands in my mind, like all the skin was off somebody or something. It was just like this bloody pulp thing walking around. That's all I remember of that. Oh, I'm so great. Well, I'm glad in a way you asked this because when Anthony was over, after we finished our movie, my friend Anthony and I put on like disc three, part three of Get Back, and I found myself forwarding a lot of it. I'm going to tell you, but these days, well, I don't know. There's things I like about Let It Be better, and there's things I like about Get Back better. I think they're different experiences, so that's my take on it.
There's one scene that I kept forgetting wasn't in either of them. And then I'm going like, well, where the hell did I see this scene? And it's the scene where, where they're talking to Paul and they're talking about the setups and Paul's like, and I want to have the cameras come in right into Ringo's face, you know? And then I realized, okay, it's from the anthology. Okay. Right. And it wasn't in Get Back or Let It Be. And it's like one of my favorite scenes with Paul. Right? Yeah. And it wasn't in either of them. It was anthology. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. That's a good bit. Your picture go right into Ringo's face.
We're the band. It's just like it's a good scene with Paul, and it's not in either of them.
But the thing with the Get Back thing, when it first came out, like any real diehard fan, I savored every second of it. Every whisper, every syllable, everything they have to say, and looking at everything. Now I say, it's good like that for the diehard. Take that. What was it? Is it 6 hours or was it longer than 6 hours?
8 hours.
Take that, make it 2 hours, just under 3 hours, 2 hours and 45, whatever, and make a really good, tight, solid thing out of it. Because there's a lot of extraneous stuff. And I'm saying this now as an honest guy who loves the Beatles. I love watching it as a fan. I'd watch the whole 50-something hours if I could. But you could make a really good 2.5, 3 hour film out of that if you really edit it right.
I don't know, maybe, but I just find that month so fascinating that I eat everything up on that month.
Yeah, I did too. And if they did that, if they made like a 2.5 hour documentary out of it or whatever, they should definitely keep the rest as bonus features. I mean, I wouldn't want to lose it.
No, I wouldn't want to lose it. I'm saying just take it, stripped down or whatever you call it, like condensed or something, because there is really just a lot of like talk bullshit in there. I think, in my opinion, and I don't like that they don't complete too many songs that get you going, and they just start a line or two, and then they don't give you any. Let It Be gives you more songs. It seems.
Right.
Well, Let It Be is really choppy too, but they didn't film it. You gotta remember, the cameras only hold 10 minutes of film, and so if they start a song with 8 minutes already done on the camera, you're not gonna get that whole song. There's a lot of that.
I know. Well, it doesn't. I don't know. As I say, I definitely enjoyed watching it as a diehard. I'm just trying to be objective and say that. What's wrong with having, if you could have the whole 8 hours? You got that too, not going anywhere. But you're also going to make one that's when you only want to watch a 3 hour version.
Yeah,
you can have it. You can have it really condensed.
Well, I was probably alone in this, but I remember saying before it even came out that if they're going to restore stuff, they should take Let It Be and make it what it should have been. Probably add like 45 minutes to an hour to it. Expand Let It Be, leaving it as it is, but expanding it and just making it better, making it make more sense, turning it into
I don't agree with it all.
A movie instead of just chop. They can still give you the movie as a bonus, but do that.
I have the 83 or 86 disc bootleg series of that month. And if you listen to that first month, there's a great, if you listen to the first disc, there's a great, because George and Paul, scratch that, George and John, they got to the studio first, and George starts playing All Things Must Pass, and then John goes, there's too many notes in it, and so he has no interest in it whatsoever because there's too many notes. I always thought that to be very interesting.
No. Although in John's defense, later on, it seemed like it's things that I like he seemed to be the most helpful to George in some of the, in the way we saw them with something. He's put him on something, on things like that. But this is a whole. This doesn't fit here at all. But
right,
I want to talk.
Well, I mean, it is a film, so I don't mind talking about it. Yeah.
It's like last time. I'm going up.
No.
When I say this isn't, what I'm about to talk about doesn't fit here at all. Not get back. Okay. The thing about Elliot Mintz, the interview that's out with Elliot Mintz, talking about John and affirming once and for all, confirming once and for all what we kind of knew, that John was insanely jealous of Paul's success. Did you see any of that interview? It doesn't fit.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and the gist of that was just it's worth seeing. I forget the name of the interview. Somebody could tell us here. It's recent. It's on there.
It's somebody's podcast, but I forget the guy's name.
The guy from Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know who he was. And he tells this story about how he said, the people don't. John said people don't embrace me the way they embrace Paul. And Elliot said, well, John, you're not touring now. This is when he was retired. He says, you're not touring. You're not making music. And he goes, no, you don't understand. It's not that. It's that they look at him as a genius, but have you heard Silly Love Songs or something like that, which I still think for me, I mean, I get what he means, but to me, Silly Love Songs is great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Greatness. But I know what he meant, but, it's not Paul's fault that he chose not to make music, John, and anything, and he didn't have to be jealous of him. It's, I don't get that because
he was just a jealous guy.
What's that?
He was just a jealous guy.
Yeah, but he could have been making music, and he could have like, he chose not to. Then there's also a story where I'm not going to go into too much of it because it doesn't fit here. But it's interesting because he tells the story that he believes, and some experts believe, based on the story of the last time John and Paul physically got together, that might have been Christmas time in '78,
right?
And there's a good story with that.
I will never ever begrudge John for wanting to be a stay-at-home dad and take care of it. So I mean, he can say that, about that, but in my book, John is A-okay with me for wanting to stay home.
He's A-okay with me too. I think, again, I just gave Paul a bunch of
very admirable for John to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I just gave Paul a bunch of credit for his Love Songs and how great it is, regardless of what John thinks of it. And, but on the other hand, I think it's a little bit over top. Paul said, I make music. I can't stop making music. He said, that's a part of the interview. He says, don't you ever make music? John says, no, I'm taking care of Sean and stuff. Now, well, do you? And he goes, I make it every day of my life. I can't stop making music. I'm like, that's great. That's a great thing to have. But in a way, that's obsessive too. It is workaholism. It is like, I can't ever stop. It's not a bad trait. Look what the music he's given us over the decades. But I mean, once in a while you can stop, get your life together instead of bringing the kids with you. You got to keep touring, drag them everywhere with you. You can't just stop.
I wish you would, but I think maybe I'm wrong here, but I think part of John's things too was once he got out of the political side of things, he didn't have that much to say anymore. And I think that's one of the reasons he stopped making music for a while. He just didn't have. He'd said most of what he wanted to say.
I don't know. He
up to that point in his life.
Yeah,
he made Mind Games and Walls and Bridges.
Paul doesn't really say much in his songs. No offense to Paul, but Paul just writes songs. John liked to say things in his songs, and I think
I agree.
Having much more to say at the moment.
I wish this discussion was contained in a more Beatles chat, but I got to say somebody wanted to comment when I did my Billy Joel video where I was talking about him dissing the White Album or whatever. Somebody in my comments was saying why he kind of agreed with Billy Joel, and he was saying, you know, on the White Album, this guy said in the comments, John's songs are not very good. Dear Prudence is not very good. He's saying, Dear Prudence is not very good. Happiness is a Warm Gun is not very good. And then he says, because it's all, and we've talked about this about John in a way, I know Tom has, that it's all personal. It's all about personal experiences, about me, and we can't relate. He says, but like, the guy goes, but something like Martha, My Dear, for example. Now that's a story we could, all of us have a relationship like that. And I wrote down, let me tell you, that's about Paul's own personal sheepdog.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You didn't know that. So much for that. You know, that was a funny thing. Oh man. See what you started, 50 Thunderer?
Yeah. I saw a real old movie with Ruby Keller. She was a good dancer, but a terrible actress. Who do you think was the worst actors and actresses of all time? Wow. I've never been the biggest Keanu Reeves fan, and actor wise, actress, I'd have to think about that.
I like Keanu Reeves. I didn't see everything he ever did, but I liked him in Devil's Advocate. I thought he was the best thing I saw him in.
Yeah,
I believed him in that movie. But there are actresses that I can't stand. I mean, Earl, and not because they're women, right? It had nothing to do with that. But the thing is, I just happen to have. So I can't remember their name now. Damn. Who's the one? She's in King Creole, not King Creole. Jesus. Elizabeth Scott. I don't like.
See, I like Elizabeth Scott. I
don't like. She wasn't in King Creole. She was in Loving You with Elvis, and it wasn't that. There's some other movie I didn't like her into, and then there's the other ones. Betty Hutton. It might not be Betty Hutton. Who's in The Greatest Show on Earth? The Mill Pickett.
No, I think that's Betty Hutton. I think that's Betty Hutton.
I remember. I said, get her. I wrote in my thing. Can't stand it. Get her out of here, please.
I like her. I like her little squeaky voice.
You have an answer? I didn't mean to rush if you had an answer.
No. Tom, have you seen Mother Has Been Betrayed or Don't Tell No Lies? Is that what you mean? Or no? I love Tubi, but and I have Tubi, but no, I haven't seen those films on Tubi.
Let me see. I went down. See, the thing is, I went down, then I go up again.
Actually, with your TV, Joe, 1 second, you could probably get Tubi TV if you don't have it already.
I have Tubi. I have it.
You do have Tubi? Okay, yeah.
You can get it online too.
I just never look at. I should look at these things. I never do.
You should, because there's great horror films, great B films on.
But the problem is, I've already got like 500 or more that I got to watch that I have already.
Right.
But I could go around once in a while.
I don't know if it's still there, but for a while, Wonderwall was on Tubi. I watched Wonderwall on Tubi.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The thing I like about Let It Be is that it has complete performances of songs. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. One of the things is they and I know what Tim said is true. I mean, or whoever. Or Tim or Tom said, they don't have all of them recorded because they only had a certain amount of.
They had the audio of pretty much everything, but not the video.
Right. Well, he had said, Peter Jackson has said that some of the video and audio didn't really match because he would have the audio for something, but not the video, so he would have to compromise and just put some video in there that looked like it could be the audio.
They did that very well.
Yeah.
Matching it up that way.
Well, the original Let It Be is like that too in some spots. There's some spots in Let It Be where if you look closely, the audio doesn't match. But it's.
Did you see the new version of it? The cleaned up version of Let It Be, Tim?
No, I have not.
Discussion closed. Yeah, it was fixed. It was fixed up and a lot better the way it was.
Yeah, that's on Disney Plus too, Tim. The cleaned up version of.
If you never see that, if you can see it and you've never seen it,
I will never have Disney Plus. So
I understand, but it's night and day. It is night and day.
It's much better. It doesn't come off as bleak anymore.
Right.
As bleak anyway. lot of people seem to feel that way. How many things do I got to look to get?
1964 says, by the way, Curtis left his 5 children nothing. I acknowledge the existence of my children. I have initially and intentionally and with full knowledge chosen not to provide for them. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's the part he played in with his wife in the movie I watched too.
Yes, Tom, I remember that clip from Anthology. Paul is talking about cameras running on tracks and floating on wires. Yeah, all around. Right into Ringo's face. Yeah, great footage. Yeah.
That's why it's funny, because he said Ringo. Ringo's with that big nose.
Yeah.
Thank you, tourist. I work as an editor. I love Get Back, but I agree it would be amazing as a 3-hour picture. The narrative arc is so strong; it would be awesome. And they say don't burn the ones we have, but just tighten it up. I'd love to see what they did. He had a shorter version. Remember that?
Yeah, but he kept adding to it, and there's a great story. He told a great story in that 3-episode arc. There's a great story. He told a great story,
but what's the use?
I know what you're saying, Joe. It could have
casual people can't watch it. They can't watch it. It's too much. My girlfriend was going nuts watching it.
Listen, finally, I'm happy there's finally something out there for the diehards and not for the casual fans.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, piss on them.
I say both. Okay. Nothing wrong with making new fans, ones that could get through the material instead of sitting there bored hearing them talk about Alan Klein or something. Which I think is fascinating. When John's beefing up Alan Klein, he's so naive. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah. But the ordinary person, I don't know. Should Paul learn? Oh, this is going to be Tom. Take this one.
Listen, Ozzy had so many health issues. Ozzy had so much more health issues than Paul. Paul is as healthy as can be. Go ahead.
I say no. You stop, you die. No.
Like
well,
shark,
not everybody does.
Yeah, it's like a shark. If a shark
stops. I'm worried about Jeff Lynne now because he stopped and he wasn't looking good, and now I'm worried about him.
Actually, Dave Edmonds is in a coma right now.
He died.
He died in his wife's arms, and a nurse brought him back to life. So now he's in a coma.
Yes. And I'm a huge Dave Edmonds fan. He might be my favorite guitar player. So I'm heartbroken about this.
No, Paul should not learn from Ozzy.
And he's in Broad Street, so we're still talking about movies.
And he produced On the Wings of a Nightingale, which Paul wrote for the Richest Brothers, or not the Richest, Everly Brothers, that Dave Edmonds produced.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Put all the visual elements to the Sweet Apple Tracks album.
Well, there's better boots than that. The Black album was probably
the Black album is fantastic.
Yeah.
The first bootleg I ever had or ever owned. If you want to hear a great bootleg, go to YouTube, type in the Beatles Black album, and enjoy.
Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah, Silly Love Song's a good answer to the anti-Paul critics, but that also gets me because I thought about that too. Here's John Lennon saying, everybody embraces Paul. Why you're not me? Why they embrace? He's saying this in like '78, okay? And the thing is, all the Paul diehards insist Paul was always getting slammed all the time, which he was. His albums a lot of times were getting slammed. But I said, they want praise all the time for Paul. They don't want any criticism of Paul. Otherwise, they think he's getting slammed all the time. I don't know. So I mean, the anti-Paul critics, they were anti-Paul critics. Wonder why John thinks he was getting praised all the time and embraced. It was for the moment. Absolutely, it was. Yeah. I know. A lot of times I tell Eddie, we're not talking about Beatles here.
And what's wrong with that?
Yeah, we did that already, right? Keanu Reeves, a bit wooden, but he's in. I don't know in some good films.
Yeah.
Of all the Beatles interviews over the years, I would find it fascinating to hear them, particularly John, talk about their time with Stuart Sutcliffe. He is a very interesting guy, Stuart Sutcliffe. Elizabeth Scott was in a good movie with Bogart. I forgot the title. Do you know?
Google it, Eric. Google it and let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I can't. I've seen it, but I can't think. She's in a lot of good movies. I like her. She's maybe one of, if not my favorite noir actress. Actually,
you got to put Crud in the timeout there.
Well, what is he saying? Well, what does he say? He's saying as far as like not a good actor or whatever.
I'm sure it's more than that. I'm sure it's because.
Well, I'm saying if that's his answer, I'm asking you: are you saying that that's your idea of who's not a who's a bad actor? Well, I tease Tom and everything, but not a bad actor, Robert De Niro. I wouldn't agree with you. There's a great Creature Features channel on YouTube too. No, that's what I like to hear. Cool. The Dark Shadows TV show. You were able to stay awake watching that? I'm up to about episode 850 now. Yeah, that's what it's. There's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
They Shall Not Grow Old, Peter Jackson. Oh, yeah, I've heard about this with all the footage and everything that he was able to put together and everything. I think he did a great job with the footage and everything. And there's people are complaining, oh, it looks too slick. Oh, get back. It's too smooth. And I'm like, look, we're so blessed to have all that stuff. I mean, you really got to like.
And it was shot on 16 millimeters, so there's not a chance. It's either not going to look great or it's going to look like it looks. It's hard to make it look in between when you're blowing up 16 millimeter. It's just, you can't do it.
So, Nick, what do you have? You collect best picture movies on Blu-ray or 4K around the world in 80 days is now the only
right, which is probably one of the top 5 worst films that won Best Picture. And that movie had no reason winning Best Picture.
Ooh.
I like it. It's not. I don't think it's Best Picture probably, but I like it. And speaking of, there's Shirley MacLaine in an early role in that too.
Oh, I think I might rather see. I've never seen it, but I know it's a classic title. But I think I'd rather see the Three Stooges go around the world in a daze. Daniel, what's up? Oh, up to what where are we at here? We're over 90 minutes. I was wondering how good Get Back would be until I saw World War I film. Then I knew it would be that good. Yeah, we talked about Dave Edmunds. But the Black Album is basically Sweet Apple tracks.
Well,
I never had Black Album.
Cleaned up. There's more, and it's a 3-record set. It's cleaned up. It's for the time it came out in the mid to late 80s. It was obviously the best Get Back session bootleg there was at the time, by far.
As long as these rockers don't cancel their whole tour like Steve Miller, that was pretty lame. The truth is, he was selling, and that's the reason. He was not selling. What is it? I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody, read your comment before you hit send. Make sure that you put.
Could you put that into words which even Caesar could understand?
I know it's hard because you want to get your comment in as soon as possible. Yeah. Read it before you hit send.
I get the general.
Yeah.
Now this thing here, that's what I'm saying. Let me say something here. I think that's, if I may say, it's probably like a personal thing with you. But the thing is, do you honestly think, even putting that aside, that you might not like him personally, or do you think he really is like not a good actor?
Right, just because he doesn't like somebody that you might like.
Yeah.
And I know who you're talking about because he's been very vocal about this one particular person. That doesn't make him not an actor just because he doesn't like somebody that you might like.
And of course, it goes both ways, tenfold.
Right.
But
yes.
We're not going to get too much into Beatles stuff. I mean, I did it. I allowed it. We're talking about the movie, and then it's got into other things. And I still think that it's underrated sometime in New York City. It's a good. There I go. You're going to make me tell a story, Eric, about Elliot Mintz, which is a beautiful, great story. say I got to say it. Thank you, Eric. I got to say it. There's a story with how Elliot Mintz at the time was working at a radio station or something, and John and Yoko gave him the acetate of his new album, which of course was Sometime in New York City, and he played the whole thing on the air, including "Woman Is the End of the World," the first track, and I don't know all the details, spare you all the details, but he wound up getting fired. He wanted to be. They called him in the office and they fired him. And they called up John and Yoko and said, "How did it go?" And he said, "Well, I got good news and bad news." And he said, "Well, what was?" So John says, "Well, give me the good news." And he said, "Well, the good news is I played the entire album." And John was like, "That, mother," calling Yoko mother. "Mother, that's so great. Did you hear? They played the whole freaking album. Can you believe it? It's fantastic." What's the bad news? As I got fired, and he laughed, and Yoko was laughing in the background. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world that he got fired. It was, Yoko, they fired him. He could playing the record, and all this. So he says, I didn't think it was very funny, but then John said, "So what are you going to do now?" And he said, "I don't know. I guess I got to get another job or something." That's when they took him on. They hired him. I think it's pretty good. So not a bad trade-off to lose your job and work for John and Yoko as I don't know, replacement job. Oh boy. I don't know if there's more.
Yeah, I don't think Olivia's Hamlet is on Blu-ray or 4K yet. 1948, yeah, Best Picture. Dead Reckoning is a good movie.
Yeah.
You could be an extra, a walk-on part in any movie history. What movie would you want to be a part of? For me, I'd have to take time to think about it. My answers are, give me time to sleep on it and really think about it. Because if I just do something off the top of my head, that might not be the best choice. Right. How about A Hard Day's Night?
Yeah. part of me would love to get dressed up and be in a Lord of the Rings film.
One movie out of every movie ever made. That's a little.
Yeah.
To me, I think. It's not. Look, something's got to be the weakest album. I mean, I agree that Sometime in New York City is a weak album. I mean, compared for John,
maybe.
But I like it. Not everything has to be the same. It's good to change things up, and that goes for any artist in my book.
I think I'd like to be in something like The Trouble with Harry by Hitchcock or Rope, a movie without very many people in it. So even though I was just an extra somewhere in the background, I'd be noticed because there aren't a whole lot of people in those films.
How about Deep Throat? I'd be in that movie. Boogie Nights, yeah, right. Yeah, Elliot Mintz was a DJ at KLOS in Los Angeles in the early 70s. I remember listening to his show. To make it film-oriented, let's say that they should make a movie about Elliot Mintz so that they could reenact his getting fired. Hamlet's on Blu-ray, an Australian import region-free box set with the other two in the trilogy.
Oh, cool.
Hello,
Henry V and Richard V. Criterion released those on Blu-ray. I'm hoping one day they get them back and put them on Blu-ray.
Night of the Comet.
Oh, that's
This is a lot of fun tonight.
I think trying to get some ice cream.
Yeah, you know what? For the first time, I think so. To finish this day out right that I was talking about before we went on camera. Yeah, I think that's the only way to go. But I'm not going to be able to find. I don't think the supermarkets are open after this time. I want to get Turkey Hill mint chip, chocolate chip if I did, but no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I won't do it.
Get that and
watch. Ice cream, Daddy.
Actually, I forgot to tell you, one of my best friends, he this is like a little hard drive type thing, and he put on a ton of TV shows on here that I've been wanting to watch, and one of the series that he put on here was All in the Family and The Honeymooners for me. So
you actually maybe going to watch The Honeymooners?
Yes. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how we're going to do this, but there's not much joy for me anymore because I was just thinking, The Honeymoon is just on every night.
Yeah.
It's been on forever since I'm a kid. And there's only 39 of the regular show. Don't get into. I hope they're not lost episodes because I like the lost episodes, but I wouldn't tell people just starting to watch it in the lost. Watch it. It's like it's like watching the Beatles in Hamburg or listening to the Beatles in Hamburg before you listen to their albums, I guess. Anyway, what am I saying? So I don't derive much from them anymore because I've seen them so many times. But I could get a joy just wondering what you think of every episode as we get going.
Yeah.
So, and wondering how much you think. Well, I think from a current perspective, you might not think that they're very innovative because they've been copied so much that I think some of it has become, just rote where it was brand new when they did it. They were breaking ground, and some of it might not seem like that anymore.
But I think they're all on YouTube anyway, aren't they? The 39, I think they're all on YouTube.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have to watch them in order, but it helps. I think it helps. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah. I was hoping you would do that one. I think for me, the best introduction to Hamlet in film would be Zeffirelli's 1968's Romeo and Juliet. But I also love Olivier's and what's his name's Hamlet. I'm forgetting his name now. Damn it. The newer, damn it. Why am I forgetting his name? But anyways, I love Hamlet. Let's see here. Roman Polanski's Macbeth from the 70s is really good as well. Kenneth Branagh. That's one. Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet is fantastic.
I'll have to take your word for it because I can't. I have no interest in Shakespeare. My favorite Shakespeare thing is probably.
I've seen some of Wells. I don't know if I've seen them all, but I like Wells.
Yeah, but the thing is there's a lot of like long speeches in a lot of his movies where if is this for Romeo and Juliet, there's not that. There's a lot of parts in there where they have shorter speeches or whatever, because some of these speeches that Shakespeare wrote can get long-winded or long in the tooth or however you want to say it. But Romeo and Juliet, there's not a lot of like long, overblown speeches in that.
Let me ask you this, Tom. What did you think of Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet?
Had never had any interest in seeing that movie whatsoever.
Really? You should. Yeah. You should. It's not I like Baz Luhrmann. It's not my favorite Baz Luhrmann movie, but every time I watch it, I liked it a little more. The first time I watched it, I didn't really like it, but I kind of like it now. It's good. Okay. It's a modern telling of Romeo and Juliet. And
exactly.
But done with the original text. Yeah. So they're not speaking like now. It's
okay. Maybe I'll check it out then.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, my favorite Shakespeare on film is I don't know. I usually know the name of all the shorts, but I don't know the name of it. It's a Little Rascals one when they put on Romeo and Juliet and Buckwheat is Juliet and in the wig, and they go Homeo.
And this isn't really a Shakespeare film, but I love Shakespeare in Love. I think that's a fantastic film.
Come on with that stuff, man. Leave it for the girls. Ugh.
No, Shakespeare in Love was great.
There's a lot of manliness in Shakespeare too, Joe.
Yes.
Becoming Led Zeppelin was a sanitized version of their story. Ultimately, all that really matters is what they talk about.
I thought it was fantastic, and somehow this keeps coming up every week too lately. It's Becoming Led Zeppelin, which is fine, but I think I thought it was fantastic.
How long before we get an Ozzy bio film?
When the family needs money.
I never had HD as opposed to Blu-ray.
Right.
I always thought it was a better title. Because, Blu-ray is a stupid title. I always thought Blu-ray was a stupid title for it. I think HD is better, HD DVD instead of a Blu-ray. And I was so used to Blu-ray, we accept it. But high definition DVD is what Blu-ray is. It's high definition. Okay, here we go. Now this means nothing to Tom. Mr. Cramden, just what is a string of Peloponnese? You don't know what that means, right?
Not yet.
Well, when they put it on, is that a Shakespeare play? No, it's not. It's not. When they're doing the play.
Yeah, no, it's not.
They put on a play, and Ralph is like rehearsing, and Norton's rehearsing, and he says, I don't own, and Norton's reading off the paper. He goes, I don't own a mansion, a yacht, or a string of Peloponnese. And he goes, wait a minute. A string of Peloponnese? What's that? Right here, Peloponnese. And he goes, that's polo ponies. So, I don't know. Then he keeps reading. They keep reading the script, and then Ralph starts doing it. He starts saying Peloponnese. He goes, I'm not going to be able to forget it when I do the show. I know it. I'm not going to ever get rid of it. So sure, and sure enough, when he does the show, he winds up saying Peloponnese because Norton put it in. Yeah, Trixie was the last one of the Honeymooners crew. The only one I got to meet in person was Audrey Meadows, Alice, who got her autograph. What does this mean? This Tom, $40 a day. $40 a day. Norton loses his job, so he gets a job selling irons, and he's not doing very well. So he doesn't want Ralph to be depressed, so he pretends that he's doing really well. He goes, how's the first day on the new job go, pal? Selling the irons. And he goes, oh, pretty good. I want you to know I made $40 commission today, which was a lot at the time. And he goes, $40 a day? $40? He goes, I got to quit my job. You think you could use anybody at that iron place? Well, $40 a day. I'm laughing because there's nothing like today's standard.
Well, no, but Al, I forget what he made. He made 50 something a week.
$62 a week.
Because there was one point where they're shouting, Alice and Ralph are shouting. I don't remember what episode. They're shouting about his salary, and the window's open, and he's like, "Could you pipe down? I don't want the whole neighborhood for my salary to leak out to the whole neighborhood." And Alice goes, "Leak out? Your salary couldn't dribble out."
$62 a week. Oh my God, Hamlet. Oh.
Hey, look, I mean, I think it's some great entertainment.
I'm in the minority. Like I said, I could admit that.
It is when you see it. The problem with Shakespeare is they get everybody in high school to read it, and Shakespeare is not meant to be read. It's meant to be seen.
I don't know about that, Tim. I read Romeo and Juliet in 10th grade, and I fell in love with it right away.
I need to see it. I need to to see what the characters are doing, to see the context. So, because there's no context, it's just words for the most part. Yeah. It's just
Yeah. She's talking about the '68 Zeffirelli version here, where
at least that keeps the discussion interesting. Anyway, I'd rather see Juliet's.
Well, you see Juliet's bust, I should say, in that version. Yeah, I think I think the '68 Romeo and Juliet might be one of the best top 3 best Shakespeare on film that there is.
But I don't think it would have been if they got McCartney to do it, which is who they wanted.
No. And I'll tell you guys. I mean, I loved it before I even realized that, or before I learned that he offered the part of Romeo to Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when? I'm trying to remember how it goes before I screw it up. Do you remember when Felix Unger and the young girl, they were like doing Romeo together, and they were into Romeo, and they're reciting the lines. So then anyway, the little girl gets lost in the woods or something, and Oscar and Felix are looking for her, and he goes,
"Oh yeah, that's right.
Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" He goes, "Deny thy father and refuse thy name." And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "Whatever happened to help? I'm over here."
Yeah.
Oh, God help me. Yeah, that's a good. That's the best part of it. Yeah. Oh God, help me! I'm just kidding you. I know.
That's,
it's just so
that's
boring to
great.
me.
At least you know it's King Lear playing in the background. That's awesome.
Oh, I know it's Kids King Lear too.
Kenneth Branagh is right up there with Olivier when it comes to Shakespeare, but I give the edge to Olivier a little bit. I think Kenneth Branagh's films are a little bit more enjoyable, but Olivier's acting I think is just slightly better.
Good evening. You got to see the whole shebang, Josh. Good for you. Congratulations. One of these days, I'll be there.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Get down here, Norton. Get down here.
Well, that's the conspiracy right there. If Shakespeare really did write Shakespeare.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, wrap it up, eh? Okay, we'll do
that. Very quick, they make a little fun of that in Shakespeare Love,
right.
Because the other guy, I forget, the guy that wound up getting killed, the other poet, he keeps coming up with these names, and Shakespeare goes, "Ooh, good name." He chops it down, which is really funny. He keeps stealing the guy's names. Ooh, good name.
Anyway. Well, let's start winding down here because we could go on forever.
Yeah, that's a trauma film, wasn't it? Was it no? Was that, or am I thinking of something else?
Wrap up, just getting good. Not getting good with Shakespeare, that's for sure. This is my opinion, but anyway, it is. Tom's the one that said let's wrap it up. So he wants his ice cream. That's why he wants.
Yes, and Kill Bill is coming, or not? I'm sorry, Kill Bill, but Kill Tony on YouTube on Monday nights. Love that show.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this, weren't you?
Yeah, he's the guy that got in trouble for that Puerto Rican joke.
No, say no more before I get in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So this has been a lot of fun. Thank you all for being here. This was a good one. We went almost 2 hours. We'll do it again next week, hopefully. And hope you all can be here. So thank you. Talk soon. Subscribe to this channel if by any chance you haven't.